Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on the Man Blitz. I'd just like to take a moment to remind you to follow us on Twitter at Man Blitz. Visit us at www.3manblitz.com. You can listen to us on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, Breaker, and don't forget to view us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Thanks, guys. Hey, everybody, and welcome into this latest episode of the Man Blitz. We are here covering my Georgia Bulldogs. Bark. They really wanted me to bark. It
didn't sound like an aggressive dog.
I'm like a chihuahua. Anyway, so there's a lot to cover on this Georgia offense and a lot to talk about with this star-studded defense. But before we do any of that stuff, talk about the quarterback battle, offensive coordinator, anything, we are gonna take a little drink. That's what we do here.
Take us a drink.
I've been on my ciders, man.
Ciders.
Don't judge me.
Too late.
Bottoms up, gents.
As soon as you said it, I was straight judging you. I still love you, though.
Man, I'll tell you what, nothing hits right like that podcast beer after a long day of work.
No doubt.
Nothing. All right, so those of you who are joining us new, probably, I guess, a lot of Georgia fans who haven't really followed our stuff yet. We do 5 fun facts before we kind of get started, just kind of loosen everybody up a little bit, get Kwesi chortling over here. So I'm gonna run through this real quick, guys, because like I said, we've got a lot to cover. All right. Number 1, UGA is the most recognizable live mascot in college football today, synonymous with Georgia athletics. Look at the Tennessee fan up there all mad.
What about the Christmas tree in Stanford?
Get out of here.
The fucking duck in
the Oregon duck.
Miami.
What about the Oregon duck?
Illustrated number 1. So deal with it.
Yeah, that dude was a Georgia fan.
What about the horned toad frog in TCU?
That is a good one, though.
His most famous moment came when UGA 5 attempted to bite Auburn receiver Robert Baker in the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Georgia rallied to win that game in the Plains. However, fans will more recently remember UGA's most recent scare with the 1,800-pound Longhorn mascot, Bevo. For those superstitious enough, this was a foreboding sign of Georgia's upset in the 2018 Sugar Bowl. Man, that was a wild moment. We all saw it.
Yeah, it could have got real bad.
Yes,
Bevo,
it was very close to getting real bad.
Look, I like the little bulldog. I like UGA, but he wouldn't have stood a chance against Bevo.
No, he got gored and stepped on.
Yeah. Anyway, between the hedges is a phrase commonly used when referring to Dooley Field at Sanford Stadium. The hedges were put in when Sanford Stadium opened in 1929. They were removed and restored in 1996 to replicate the feeling of the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. That was something I actually didn't know. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Do they – I thought only like Big Ten and some other conference go to the Rose Bowl.
I think it alternates. The Rose Bowl alternates.
Pac-12.
Yeah.
They'd be because it's over.
Like whatever USC's in.
Yeah.
Pac-12. Yeah, it's Pac-12.
Okay.
But I know that some years it's also used as a playoff game, so which is actually
playoffs.
Playoffs.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Actually, my next fact. Georgia's last playoff win came January 1st, 2018 versus Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl. After getting thoroughly trounced in the first half versus Oklahoma's high-powered offense, the Bulldogs held the Sooners scoreless in the third quarter to rally to a double overtime win, a Rose Bowl first. That was a wild game.
That's a good
I
one.
was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Baker Mayfield, man, that was a good offense. Despite having a high win ratio and enjoying much success since 2000, which is when Mark Richt was hired, Georgia's last national title came in 1980 on the heels of Heisman winner and Georgia legend Herschel Walker. It hurts, but I had to say it.
Is that 40 years?
40 years this year. We got to get there, guys. I mean, we're a really good football program, but good is not great.
No doubt. You guys have been good for a while now. You got to get over the hump.
Since about 2000, yeah.
You were in the national championship not that long ago.
2017. Well, the year was 2018, but it was 2017 season. And number 5, this one's just for Kwesi. Georgia has had several mascots, beginning with a goat. February 22nd, 1892 versus Auburn. Our mascot was a goat. But in 1950, before the Uga dynasty began, Georgia's Bulldog mascot, Butch, was shot and killed on a Warner Robins sidewalk by a policeman who believed the dog was rabid.
Was
the
it
cop
rabid?
shot the dog.
Was it rabid?
No, it wasn't rabid.
How do you know?
It's a freaking Georgia mascot. It's not going to be rabid.
It got loose.
There's just an asshole.
Was he a Georgia Tech fan?
He probably was.
Yeah, he probably was a Tech fan.
Back when they were relevant.
That goddamn dog.
My poor dog.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that crap.
But hold up. Time out, bro. Time out.
A goat?
A goat?
A goat. Yeah. It was our first mascot. It was a goat.
What was the goat's name?
I don't remember.
We got to look it up. We got to know. I need to know.
Is it like one of those situations like during Easter when they put the bunny ears on the little...
I don't know, man, but I did read. I don't remember the goat's name. I don't remember the goat's name, but I did read that during the entire game, the Auburn fans were chanting "Kill the goat" over and over again. So,
why in the hell would they have a goat ever?
I don't know.
Y'all been the Bulldogs, right? For like forever.
Yeah, we were named after the Yale Bulldogs.
You sure you weren't the Georgia Goats at one point?
At one point, we were, my friend.
We
showed up with a goat.
The Billy Goat.
Those crazy eyes they've got.
Yes, man.
You bark like a dog.
I mean, go dogs, but go goats, I guess. I don't know. We got to embrace our history. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about this.
Kwesi, do it again. Bark like a goat. All right, sorry guys.
Okay,
bear with us. We're just having a good time.
As bad as things can be sometimes, dogs, we could always be the goats.
Oh my God.
Could be the goats.
We could be the goats.
Could be the goats.
Which now is like a good thing. It's like a badge of honor. You call somebody the goat, but when you say the goats, the goats,
greatest of all time, the acronym.
All right, Jeremy, fire into some offense, buddy.
Yeah, so
Let's
the
move past
offense.
The goat before Kwesi suffocates.
I almost died too, man. All right, so the 2020 Georgia offense is going to look. Well, we don't really know what it's going to look like. It's probably the biggest question Georgia's got for the upcoming season. So the defense should be good, and Kwesi will take care of that later. But, you've got a ton of starters that have gone. Jake Fromm, most of them were drafted, which is good for Georgia. Jake Fromm, DeAndre Swift is probably one of the biggest ones, Swift being that all-star studded running back. Isaiah Wilson, Andrew Thomas, Solomon Kinley, Charlie Werner, Cade Mays transferred, Brian Harrion, Eli Wolf, Tyler Simmons, and Lawrence Cager, just to name the ones I wrote down.
Well, and when you're mentioning DeAndre Swift there, it should be worth noting that this is the first year since before the Todd Gurley era that Georgia hasn't had a returning 1,000-yard rusher.
Wow. That is a big deal.
Hey, what team does Todd Gurley play for?
Todd Gurley.
I don't know, Kwesi. Who does he play for?
It's one of those bird teams, maybe the Eagles.
Them Falcons, baby. Them dirty birds.
Yeah, we all know he came back to the red and black, back to the state. Wish the best of luck of him this season.
Yes, sir.
All right, so the offense, they're going to have a new look. Most notably, calling the plays as the offensive coordinator is going to be Todd Monken. Todd Monken's he's bounced around the college and pro ranks. Most recently, just left the Browns to come back to college. He's known for his aggressive style of play calling, and even though he doesn't feel it really fits, he's known for his air raid offense. So, not knowing too much about Todd Monken without looking into it, from the outside looking in, that would make me think, okay, they're going to throw the ball everywhere. They'll never run.
That's what makes this like a really interesting hire, because this is like way outside of Kirby Smart's comfort zone.
So, you're right. And I think what he has done is he's went and picked him out. They've got a couple of quarterback transfers that are coming in. we'll get to them in a second. And I think they want to utilize one of their skill sets to have more of an explosive style of offense to fit their shutdown defense. Because if they can score points relatively quickly and their defense stays pretty strong, it's going to be really tough to beat Georgia. That's a good recipe for success. So that's the big question is what are they going to run? How's the offense going to look? And I don't know what that is yet. They've been practicing for a couple of weeks. We'll go ahead and talk about the quarterbacks a little bit. You got incoming Jamie Newman. And Jamie Newman's the guy that I think is going to be the starting quarterback. He's more of a dual threat guy. He looks shredded up. He looks like he is ready to run this offense the way that Georgia wants them to be ran. The other guy's JT Daniels. He's actually coming off of a knee injury, and he is not ready to participate yet. So he's not ready. So he's not actually competing yet. So, and there's a couple other guys. I didn't even bother to write them down. So, yeah, go ahead and crucify me if you want to, Dog Nation. But I think it's Jamie Newman.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, the other guys –
speak for your boys.
Yeah, the other guys you'd be referring to would probably be Dwan Mathis. He's coming back from brain surgery, actually. Oh. They found a tumor on his brain before the start of last season. And he's just now coming back, fully healthy. So, that's great news for him.
That's good. Big time.
Yeah, made a full recovery. Yeah. There was talk that he may never play football again. But incoming freshman Carson Beck, everybody's saying he's got like a Jake Fromm look to him, which, as far as reading plays and stuff, that's great. But, I wasn't really impressed at all with Jake Fromm's athletics. But we did do a Twitter poll on the 3-Man Blitz Twitter page at 3-Man Blitz, and it says we want to hear from you. Who will be the UGA starting quarterback? And 21% took JT Daniels, 71% took Jamie Newman, and only 7% took other. So everybody else pretty much seems to be on the same page. Jamie Newman is the guy. And I've actually got a lot of stuff on these guys if you want it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Shoot it.
All right. So Jamie Newman's a grad transfer quarterback from Wake Forest. He's 6'4", 229 pounds. He's a big quarterback. Last season he threw for 2,868 yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He had 574 rushing yards and 6 rushing touchdowns. He reminds me a lot of, I'm going to say, Cam Newton in his play style. Okay. Maybe a younger Cam Newton. I was thinking maybe, because of his size and just how massive he is, maybe even more of a Jalen Hurts. But
he can read. And not to interrupt you, when you watched that recent video of practice and you saw him, you told me that you thought at first glance it was Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I did. He's huge. Wow. He's huge, guys.
Yeah, go look. If you haven't watched, go look at practice or just look at the photos, and you'll see him. Like I said earlier, he's shredded. He's big. Big time.
He can read the defense on RPOs pretty quickly, which is good. So that may be something Todd Monken throws into this mix. Makes multiple reads before deciding to pass, but that has a downside. He took 22 sacks in 2019. He throws well under pressure. He has a big arm. His dual threat running ability is dangerous. He bounces off defenders and runs through contact. And he's receiving first-round draft buzz as of right now. JT Daniels, on the other hand, he is a junior transfer quarterback from USC, not the Chickens.
Not the Tendies. No,
not the chicken Tendies.
That's the Trojans.
You're like, which USC? Yeah. Not the ones we hate. He's 6'3", 209 pounds. He's a pretty big kid, too. He was a highly decorated high school recruit. He was a 5-star. He was the 2017 Gatorade Player of the Year. Number 2 pro-style quarterback in his class behind only Trevor Lawrence. He hit his stride against Notre Dame in a 379-yard game with a 72.5% completion rate, then suffered an ACL tear in the season opener against Fresno State. That was last season.
Yep.
And then he transferred. So I think I've seen him out there practicing. He's probably not taking contact from what I can tell, but he is still wearing a knee brace. So maybe we're looking at the guy for next year. Maybe we're just looking at a highly decorated backup for right now. I don't know, but all signs to me personally point towards Jamie Newman.
And, I mean, I would still rather have, as a fan, and I'm not a fan, but if I was looking at a team as my team, I would still rather have the guy that can do more for you. So a pocket passer, he can hand the ball off and he can throw it. But your dual threat guy can do a lot of RPOs. He can run. He can do a lot of naked boots. He can still throw. He can do all the other things. So to me, and he's ready to go. He looks polished. He's played against some good teams. I mean, he hasn't really faced great defenses playing for Wake Forest. But, he played pretty good teams,
But even then, he didn't do super great against Clemson. But, it's like when you take the kid and you give him the keys to like a Ford Pinto and he does okay, and then you take those away and give him the keys to like a Corvette,
you
call him
time will tell.
Pinto?
They're Pintos.
Damn.
Pinto.
Ain't a Ford Escort.
Sorry, Deacons. No offense. No offense, Deacons.
They may not quite be a Pinto. But I don't know what else you'd call them. Maybe they are an Escort.
Compared to Clemson?
Not even a Subaru. Just a Ford.
Lately. Anyway.
Pinto.
But yeah, so the question really is what will Todd Monken do? Because I really do think it's going to be Jamie Newman. I think most people thought it was going to be Jamie Newman for a long time until JT Daniels decided to transfer and he got granted, blah, blah, blah. So
shiny new toy syndrome.
Shiny new toy.
A Chevy Impala?
No.
Jesus.
No. They're not even an Impala.
They're Pintos. Let's move on.
Pintos.
What I have on Todd Monken is I don't know if this will help you any or not, but I try to do a lot of looking into Todd Monken, and it's hard to decide what he's going to do because these are different pieces than what he's ever really had before. But he changes his grouping based on personnel from what I can tell. Like in Cleveland, for example, who's with the Browns, he used a lot of two-back sets with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, and he likes motion and pre-snap movement. And a lot of this I can see him getting with certain receivers and certain running backs that we have on our roster. But I definitely think it'll be more aggressive than anything Kirby Smart's ever had at UGA.
And that's got to be what they're going after, like what we were talking about earlier. Like you want to score, a lot of points. I think their target's probably like 35 points a game. They don't want to be the ground and pound of Georgia's past, scoring 14 points with a great defense. I mean, that is a good recipe for success in the 80s. And in the 90s maybe a little bit. But now we're a little different. You got to have a high-powered offense to help your shut-down defense. And they have the pieces, like Jamie Newman, I think he can do it. And then the running backs, you got Zamir White, you got James Cook. And I know you love James Cook. I know.
I love James Cook. Let me tell you guys, he's one of my key players. He's a junior running back. And I didn't give you James Cook's stats because he was so underutilized. His stats from 2018 and 2019 are completely useless. But Cook is a valuable weapon that has been vastly underutilized the past 2 seasons. He would have been an automatic starter at almost any other team, but chose to come to Georgia where he had to wait his turn behind Swift, Harrigan, and Holyfield. Cook is a very quick and agile back with excellent catching ability. We can expect him to be heavily used like a Swiss Army knife in the Todd Monken offense. Expect him to explode onto the scene this year. A lot of people are sleeping on James Cook. Nobody's talking about James Cook, even in the Georgia fan base. We just don't, everybody's just kind of ignoring that he's there because, shiny new toy syndrome. You got these 5-star running backs coming in, freshmen and sophomore, this and that. James Cook, he's been there. He's been waiting his turn, and he is good. He's very good. Love
Andrew,
James Cook.
Would you expect James Cook to take the starting spot from Zamir White?
No, I expect a 1-2 punch like Chubb Michelle.
No doubt. I think Georgia fans should be super excited with the offense they have coming in. There's a lot of questions. But, with his explosive style and then, like I said, those talented running backs, just to touch on some of the receivers, the best one, George Pickens, right? Dude's super talented.
Man,
you want to go ahead?
I got another one. You get another one of my players. I'm done with offensive players after this, so I'll be quiet for a minute. Sorry, guys. George Pickens, one of my key players. He flipped from Auburn on National Signing Day, so that was automatically a big boost in my book. He's a sophomore wide receiver, 6'3", 190 pounds. He has quickly become a fan favorite and established himself as a clutch target for quarterback Jake Fromm in 2019. Pickens is a fiery individual, making national headlines for his intense fight with the Georgia Tech defensive back last year. He wins contested catches, and his body control is unparalleled. He is a prototypical possession receiver and will likely be Georgia's second all-time receiver to go over 1,000 yards in a season, the only other being Terrence Edwards. Can you believe that? We've literally only had one receiver ever go over 1,000 yards in a season.
That's pretty amazing. I did not know that.
It's like the opposite of amazing. It's
because you guys always run the football. That's why you have
say
so
they're
many
known as
good
a
running
rushing
backs.
team.
Right.
exactly.
I would say it definitely
But
happens this year.
I think it will. Last year he had 49 receptions, 727 yards, with 14.84 average yards per catch and 8 touchdowns. But in the Sugar Bowl versus Baylor, where he was named the MVP, he had 12 receptions for 175 yards and a touchdown. He tore it up.
Talented dude, man.
Okay. Yeah, finish your offense, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good, man. Besides George Pickens, you got Demetrius Robertson and you got Dominique Blaylock expected to start in the expected X and Z spot.
Dominic Blaylock tore his ACL.
Oh, that's right. That happened today.
This morning, Dominic Blaylock tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Not good.
He's so talented, too.
That sucks.
He's so good. And it's his second ACL tear. He tore it versus LSU.
Really not good.
No, yeah, really not good. Is that the same knee? Do you know if it's the same knee or is it the other knee?
I don't
Hopefully,
know. I'll have to look.
It sounds weird saying it, but hopefully it's the other knee. It's not the surgically repaired knee?
I can't imagine that it would be better if it were the same knee.
No, it's got it. I hope it's the other knee. Either way, it sucks.
Whenever he goes to the pros, if he goes to the pros, his stock's unfortunately going way down.
Well, it really hurts when you can't get on the field, yeah. Well, besides them, you got Marcus Rosemy, you got Matt Landers, and you got Kyrus Jackson. So I'd be interested to see out of those three who's going to take his spot. At the tight end spot, you got Trey McKitty. That's a fun name. And you got Darnell Washington. I only expect one to be on the field at a time. I think he'll run a lot of 3-wide sets, maybe some 4s, like you were talking about, a lot of motion.
And you don't see a whole lot of motion with tight ends.
No. Almost very rarely. Sometimes you do. I haven't seen it in a while, actually. Quite a few years. Not in the SEC anyway. And besides that, you're looking at Xavier Truss, a freshman starting at left tackle. Left guard, you got Justin Schaefer. Returning starter, center Trey Hill. You got right guard Ben Cleveland and right tackle Jameer Salyer. Salyer. So you got Cade Mays transferred to Tennessee, even though he didn't get his waiver.
He's sitting at the house this year.
Yeah, we'll see. That's being appealed. But
I wonder if his dad had a hand in it.
Oh, maybe a finger.
Wow. I bet he can't count the 10.
Not on his fingers.
Y'all are sorry as hell, man.
But anyway, it does come as a blow. It does come as a blow to the line because he definitely would have helped in that less experienced now line rotation, and they're going to need it. But I do expect their offense to be pretty explosive, and we'll find out pretty quick. Do you have that schedule pulled up, Andrew, by the way? I think I've got it.
The schedule, I have it written down right here. Week 1 at Arkansas, Week 2 versus Auburn, Week 3 versus Tennessee, then at Alabama, then at Kentucky versus Florida, at Missouri versus Mississippi State, at South Carolina versus Vanderbilt.
Yeah, so, I mean, you guys start with Arkansas. I mean, you'll be able to – it's basically a cupcake game before Auburn. You guys will be able to do everything you want to against Arkansas. You'll have SEC competition, but come on. I expect that game to be like 56-10. Legit.
And poor Arkansas.
Poor Arky.
You guys need to check out our SEC schedule analysis. We'll tell you how bad Arkansas got it.
Yeah, they got it real bad. They got it. So, I mean, they were already a bad team. Anyway, Georgia video. That's what I have on them. Unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot. I haven't heard a whole lot out of practice to give any better analysis on what the offense will be like. But I do expect them to be a lot of RPOs, a lot of, every so often running the quarterback, running Jamie Newman, who I think is going to be a quarterback keeper designed. And then, throwing it around a lot. Once they start coming up, trying to stop Zamir White and Cook, they'll start hitting them over the top. And they got weapons. I expect them to utilize it and use that defense to shut them down when things aren't working so good, if that does happen. Kwesi, what you got on defense, buddy? Tell us about that defense, baby. Tell us about that defense.
As mentioned with the offense, there are a few questions, but with their defense, Georgia's defense, it's a lot of stability. It began last year, and they're going to be very stable and very deep this year, once again. Last year, let me start this. No team scored more than, 17 points on them? Except for
20.
those. What?
He's saying
No more than 20 points.
No more than 20 points.
Can I do?
You're off by field goal, Kwesi.
Can I?
He tried to make it sound better, and you're over there trying to correct it.
Let's try this again. No team scored more than 17 points on them, except for those cockies who scored 20 points.
A little sore on that, Andrew? What happened?
And
I was watching something else.
LSU Tigers, Joe Burrow,
Tigers,
and Odell Beckham
tossing the cash out.
Scored, after he cashed out those boys, they dropped 37 points on them guys.
Cash out?
Oh, sorry.
Now you get where I'm coming from?
Nobody
didn't mean
can
to
stop
jump the
that
gun
offense.
there. That South Carolina game is touchy.
Why?
South Carolina's touchy subject.
So the Gamecocks is touchy?
Quit saying it.
They're a little touchy. I'll tell you what happened on that game. Jake Fromm threw a ton of interceptions, and the defense crumbled. They just couldn't stop
Jake
them
Fromm
quite enough.
lost that game.
It's a team effort, buddy. It's a team effort. You guys lost that
When
game
the
as a team.
quarterback throws 3 passes to the same DB,
Overcome
it's
it.
definitely not.
Great teams overcome it, Andrew. That's why you haven't won a national championship since 1980.
Yeah.
Hey, get out of here with your 5-star hard ass.
Hey, all I'm saying is we've won one since y'all, like a long past. It's still been a long time, but it hadn't been 40 years.
Kwesi.
Can I? All right. Well, even with departures from last year, so key departures such as Michael Barnett and Tyler Clark, the Georgia defense again is going to be pretty much fine. The likes of All-American Jordan Davis and SEC All-American Trayvon Walker. So they're still gonna be pretty well. You see
You keep waiting. I see you.
You see that, right?
You look like you're waiting to step on my landmines.
I'm
You're like,
waiting
he's
for
going to
one
talk.
of your bells
He's
to
gonna-
go off or something.
Ding, 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 ding.
They still got their top pass rusher, Aziz. What's his name?
Ojulari.
Ojulari. Yeah.
Aziz
Ding, ding,
Ojulari.
ding. Aziz
there you go.
Ojulari.
There we go.
Yeah,
Let's see what I won.
What's behind door
Aziz
number 3?
Ojulari. He was a redshirt freshman and then a freshman, so he's a sophomore this coming year. Outside linebacker. 6'3", 240 pounds. 36 total tackles. 6 tackles for loss, resulting in 43 yards. That's a lot. That's almost half a football field. 5.5 sacks, 18 quarterback hurries. You okay?
That's
Wreaks havoc on the edge.
45%
Bullies
of the
tight.
football field.
43%.
God dang.
Bullies tight ends and tackles. Effective on getting to the backfield. Not the best in coverage, but as Jeremy likes to say, he has a high motor and he's aggressive. He won the 2019 Defensive Most Improved Award, 2019 Leon Farmer Strength and Conditioning Award, and he is on the 2020 Butkus Award watch list.
On the what?
Butkus Award, awarded to the
Butkus.
best linebacker in college football.
It's not butt kiss. But
Gotcha.
Dick Butkus.
Let me ask you boys a question.
Yeah.
Who do you think has more sacks this year? Ojulari or Malik Herring, the defensive end?
From what I've seen,
Ojulari.
Shot bets?
Ojulari is a monster. Oh, I'll take you on a shot bet on that.
Write it down.
All right, Kwesi, we taking Ojulari?
Ojulari.
So I got
All
two
right.
shot bets.
Yeah.
2 shot bets.
2 points. Count it.
Also, with Ojulari coming back, you still have Monty Rice also too.
Yes, sir. Another big one. Oh, nothing on that one?
Okay.
I can't do 2 linebackers.
Hey.
I do like Monty Rice a lot, though. He's a very sure
should.
tackler.
You should.
Very sure tackler.
Wasn't he the leading tackler for the team or something?
I think Ojulari was.
I think he was.
No, Monty Rice was one of the top tacklers, I think so. As you're researching that, again, their depth is extremely deep.
Yeah, they're deep.
So you have deep depth.
Yeah, that was
Deep
kind of
Yo.
down on that one right there.
Depth
With
so
strong redshirts and high recruited freshmen, such as Warren Brinson. You've heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nazir Stackhouse.
Yes. Very
Stackhouse.
highly rated.
Kiki Ringo.
Keely Ringo, yes. He's a corner.
And Major
Applewhite.
Burns.
No. Where did I say Applewhite from?
I don't know.
No.
Applewhite. I don't know. It was fired straight off.
What's
I don't
wrong
know.
with you?
I don't know where it came from.
You're just making up names.
It sounded good though.
Major Payne.
I gotta leave
No.
that.
Major.
Who is that guy? I gotta. Oh, Major Applewhite's he's a football coach. That's why I was like, that's why it did happen.
You were at least in the right realm.
Yeah.
Major Burns, that young man there. But again, looks very likely that their defense won't miss a beat from last year. So they're going to be very strong. And it seems as if they're going to lean on that defense to help them get through this whole season as they resolve all the few questions that they do have on the offense.
No doubt.
Okay. My last guy, which Kwesi didn't actually touch on, and I'm really surprised. Richard Lecount the third, safety. He is a senior. It was kind of a surprise to everybody that he decided to come back. He had pretty good draft stock. But he's 5'11", 190 pounds, which is not very big for a safety.
Yeah.
But he has unmatched instincts, but he is lacking in size and elite speed. But his read and recognition skills are impeccable. This hard-hitting run-stop defense is definitely bolstered by his return as he locks down the defensive backfield. Last season, he had 4 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, 35 solo tackles, 26 assisted tackles, 61 total tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss as a safety. That's wild, him like reading plays and getting back there that fast.
Yeah.
2 forced fumbles and 3 pass breakups. So
I'm going to put this forth to you guys. I feel like this is a national championship team or bust. Andrew, what do you think?
Oh, I very much agree. As a Georgia fan, I would be happy with a playoff appearance, even if we didn't win a national championship. But, like, if you're ever geared up and ready to do it, this is the year.
I mean, you really obviously you'll know a couple of games in what kind of offense it looks like you're going to have and whether or not it's going to be a possibility. But the defense is in place, and it should be just as good. And last year it was like 3rd nationally in overall defense or something. So you've got the defensive pieces, and with that kind of defense, you should have the time on offense. So
I mean,
if it's ever a year to do it, it should be this one.
As far as what you've got returning on defense, we should be the number 1 defense. Just looking at paper. I mean, you don't know what some of these other teams are going to throw up, but Ohio State's not even in the picture as of right now, and they would definitely be up there.
Ohio State with the Big Ten being out, Ohio State not being there, and definitely because the Michigan Wolverines is not there.
No doubt. Of course.
You might have a chance now.
And the Pac-12, all those teams. And, just as a player for those other guys, you got to be just like – those teams got to just be so upset.
Bummed.
Who was trying to sue? They're like suing the Big Ten? Nebraska players.
Non-Nebraska players. And apparently other people are joining the lawsuit. Apparently it's growing. So we'll see what happens.
It's not a good look for the Big Ten.
It's just unprecedented times, man.
It's weird.
It is. It's
everybody's somewhat everyone's trying to do the right thing. I doubt if the Big Ten would be like, you know what, we just want to lose money this year. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't make much sense. But
no, not at all.
Just trying to do the right thing. But we'll see.
Well, I'm going to throw you guys the schedule out there real quick, and I want to get your opinions on what you think the record is going to be.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. To your point about national championship or bust,
Yes, sir.
we were very close to making the playoffs last year with a very poor offense. We came in at number 5. We were just one spot outside of the playoffs, even after getting beat by LSU. But that loss to South Carolina was what did us in, honestly.
You had the 50th overall offense. 50th.
Yeah. We were like reverse Oklahoma.
No
Really
doubt.
bad defense, really good offense. We were really good defense, really bad offense, and still almost made it in. So my question to you is, after looking at what you've looked at, can the offense really be worse or as bad as it was last year?
Yes.
Do you think so?
Nobody's going to say yes, but if you're throwing it out as a hypothetical, can it be? Yeah. Because for one –
Will it be? In your personal opinion?
No, I don't think so. You should be able to roll out there with any kind of decent offense with Jamie Newman and the offensive weapons that you have and be able to tear off a couple of scores.
Yeah.
You should be able to do it. I don't think that it's going to be worse. I think at worst it would be we'll take that 50 and a half and go to 25. That would be worse.
Again,
that should be floor.
And again, in the conference is not playing this year, they automatically go up, obviously.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You have less teams actually throw in that category, but you are playing only SEC teams too.
Yeah.
But when you've
the
already
two
got
games that
your
were
two
added-
worst. You got the 2 worst in the entire SEC you're going to play. Arkansas you start with, and then you got Missouri on there too. It's pretty bad.
Vandy at the very end of the season.
3.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a loss.
And the teams that were added to our
Anchor
slate
down.
were Arkansas and Mississippi State. So those aren't exactly like ball breakers, you know.
Yeah.
No.
Whoa,
You guys got-
hey, whoa.
Careful. Easy, goat. Careful.
All right, go
Okay.
give me that schedule, man.
All right,
it's
yes, sir. Arkansas, win or loss.
Come on, man. Win.
Auburn at home.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
We don't know what Auburn's got. I'm going to give them win. I really think Georgia's got it this year. You'll know exactly what Georgia should be doing after that game.
Yeah.
Auburn too, probably.
Auburn hasn't beat Georgia at home. Auburn hasn't beat Georgia outside of Auburn, Alabama since 2007. So I've got an 80% on this game for Georgia.
I normally toss that kind of stuff to the side.
Eh. Says the superstitious guy who started sweating when the boat sank to the bottom of the river before the Georgia State game.
Hey, I just had that thought. It just happened to come true. So
See,
whatever.
you had that thought. I had the same thing when Bevo tried to kill Uga. I was like, oh, that's not good. Okay. Versus Tennessee at home.
Loss. Why are you
Get
laughing?
out of here.
Why are you laughing?
Get out of here. You really calling it a loss?
Nah,
You think Tennessee
hey.
can?
I think
He
they definitely
does.
can.
He's going to
For
put
sure.
Tennessee over Alabama
Okay.
this year.
All right. Give me your percentage for a Georgia win on this one. You have to throw a number on it.
Yeah, where is it at? Is it and it's at Neyland, right?
No, it's in Athens at Sanford
It's
Stadium.
in Athens too. I'll give them.
But I mean, keep in mind the attendance isn't going to be super high. So.
yeah, still. I'll give them an 86% chance to win.
86. Oh, I had it at 75. I think Tennessee's going to be pretty good this year.
I do too.
Okay.
Georgia's pretty stout. That defense alone matching up against our offense will be really good to watch. We'll see.
Next.
At Alabama.
Okay.
What do you got, Kwesi?
I think the beginning of the season is going to determine a lot of that. Again, if they struggle against Auburn, they more than likely will try to knock out Tennessee. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so they could come in a little bit wobbly still, and if they resolve those questions. So Alabama could be that turning point for them. So if they win it, you can see them in the playoffs. If they lose it, you see them out of the playoffs. So right now, I see Alabama being strong, so I'm going to say a loss.
I also put it as a loss. However, I know I'll be watching that game as long as the Tennessee game's not on at the same time. But if it is, I'll have it recorded and I'll watch it after. Because I think it'll be probably. I think it's
It'll be
probably
a
going
good
to
game
be one of the biggest games of the year.
Yeah.
Is that game. So as an SEC fan and just a football fan, I would want to watch it. And like Kwesi said, I kind of give the edge to Alabama just because they've got like over a decade's worth of dominance just about.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not kidding Georgia fans when I say that I really like the team. I like the outlook. I like the strong defense. I like the incoming offense. It's real close. It's a toss-up. But I would say Alabama because I've already said it in the past video.
Actually, you had Georgia winning in the past video. But the schedule's changed since then.
I don't remember that. That's not how I remember it.
The schedule's changed since then.
I'll say Bama.
Yep. I've got it at 50%. And I think I'm going to have Georgia splitting between Alabama and Florida. I think they'll win one and then they'll slip one. But next is Kentucky, at Kentucky, which
I think they'll win that.
Yeah. And then it's a bye week, and then we have Florida, which I've got a 60% chance to win on.
That's the game you're more worried about, the Florida game, not the Auburn. I would be more worried about the Auburn game.
I'm more worried about Florida than I am Auburn.
Okay.
He's more worried about Florida because that's his destination game to get to the SEC championship.
I mean,
if they lose to Florida, if Florida is good enough to beat Georgia, they probably won't lose to another East team if they're that good. And then that means that puts Georgia out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I mean, after that, our schedule is Missouri, Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. After Florida, we have a month of easy sailing.
Yeah, you lost to South Carolina last year.
You're right. We have this bad habit of losing games we shouldn't, but
yeah, you just never know how big the cock's gonna come. What's wrong? What's wrong?
I can't with you.
Anyway, so projected record. What you got?
Oh God, it's 10 games now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say 9-1. I really honestly feel like the chances of running the table are actually pretty good.
I've got 9-1 as well, and that's on the negative side. I'm not saying we won't win the Alabama game, but we've had a bad history with that, and I'm sitting at 50% on it. 50%.
Well, the Gamecock game was it was just a really bad offensive game, and the team
all of our games were really bad offensive games.
Well, yeah, but they just hung around and chipped at the defense just enough to eke that win out. You know what I mean? So
I'll say 2. So 8-2.
8-2.
Who they losing to? Bama and who else?
Vanderbilt and no. I say Alabama and Auburn. To be serious, Alabama and Auburn.
Auburn? You think Auburn will beat Georgia at home?
Alabama and Auburn.
Shot bet? You take a shot bet on that?
Shot bet. Let's do it. Do not come
Auburn?
to Alabama. You're not allowed in the state of Alabama. Alabama and Auburn.
It could happen.
Yeah. So I'll say those 2 losses.
You know how I like to be crazy? I just had this thought because you said Vandy. If Georgia ran the table and then had the last game, the last game's the Commodores, correct? Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
If they lost that game.
Shut up. Shut up.
I would laugh so hard.
Shut up. We would only lose because we would start all freshmen.
That's still a loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have to rest everybody.
You don't rest starters in college.
I'm gonna be a rebel and say 8-2, bro.
8-2.
All right.
We're both 9-1.
All right. I could very easily go 10-0, and I could very easily go 8-2, but I'm gonna ride the 9-1. I think that's right where it needs to be.
I would say, a lot of times if you're a fan of a team and you say, yeah, we're going to run the table 10-0 this year, 10-0, you'll probably catch a lot of flack for it. But as a Georgia fan,
I'll sound like a homer.
You got a legitimate argument, though. If you were to ever to say it, it would be this year. That's why I threw it out there. I could see you guys running. If you beat – you're right, though, Kwesi. If say they destroy Auburn, say it wasn't even close, and then they beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Game over. It's your season to lose.
After that.
Game over.
No.
Then we lose to South Carolina.
Not bad, though. I mean –
To lose to who?
The Gamecocks.
South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
Gamecocks.
I could already hear that. I could already hear that obnoxious music.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us. Stop. Oh, we're playing there this year. I'm going to have to listen to it.
Gross.
I've got a headache already.
Sandstorm.
Well, Dog Nation, thanks for joining us. And check out the rest of our SEC content.
No doubt.
Yeah. You already heard me bark. I'm not doing it again.
You need to work on it.
All right, guys. Tune in for our last couple of videos. The season is coming up very soon. We are very
quick.
pumped. We are hyped. Make sure you check us out on Twitter. Make sure if you haven't already liked and subscribed to our video, do it. Subscribe to our channel because we put out great content. We're awesome.
No doubt. Leave us a comment down below. Tell us what you think about Georgia. You know, what's the record going to be? How far off are we? Do you think we're way off on defense or offense? Any other special facts that you know that Andrew skipped out on?
A goat?
I can't imagine you got anything better than a goat, though.
I got all the best ones.
Let us
Georgia
know.
Goats.
All right, go Dogs, and as always, go for 3.
Go for 3.
Go 3, baby.